goody, Shellitronnn here. You can call me Shells, and I'm back at again with a brand new video. And I'm gonna keep it a bold bread biscuit. If you're a Panthers fan and you want Cameron Jarrell Newton to play quarterback for the Carolina Panthers in the 2020 regular season of the NFL, you are selfish and you do not care about Cam Newton. Usually I have a pretty open mind to hearing other people's thoughts, their opinions, and all that kind of stuff, but not on this topic right here. I'll say it again. But before I do that, let me explain it in a metaphor. Have y'all ever had a friend who you knew was in a toxic relationship that you could just tell that the person they were with did not care about their interests, was not really open to what they wanted to do, they always did what they wanted to do, and you could just see your friend was not in a healthy relationship where they were actually being cared about, and you just knew the situation was not gonna ever get better, but your friend was still staying in that relationship. And on one hand, you think to yourself, okay, that's their life, you know, they can do what they want to, and if they're not gonna leave that relationship, even though it's bad, and I can tell, and they know it's a bad relationship, I mean, who am I to really meddle? But on the other hand, you think to yourself, that's my friend, and I care about them, and if I thought someone cared about me, and I was in a situation right there, I would hope someone would at least approach me and say, look, bro, you know she ain't doing right, bro. You know this ain't what you want. You know that even moving forward in the future, this is not what you need in your life right now. You gotta move on to better things because you're hoping things will get better, but there's been no evidence that things are ever gonna change, and you're only hurting yourself by hoping and praying and wishing that things might change, even though you know it's not very likely. I think we've all been there, or we've been that person in that situation. But if you're a Panthers fan who wants to see Cam Newton stay on the Panthers in this 2020 season, it's even worse. Because it's like you're that friend looking from the outside in, watching your friend in a bad relationship, except the person they're with is kind of rich, and sometimes, some years, they invite you on their vacations and they pay for everything. So you get some benefits out of that relationship, but you don't actually have to experience what's going on, all those bad and toxic moments. You're looking in from the outside, but you still get little perks here and there sometimes. That's what it's like for a Panthers fan to want Cam Newton to be a starting quarterback on the Carolina Panthers. Do you understand what is going on with this team right now? Just last night, Luke Kuechly, out of nowhere, retired after only 8 seasons in the league. Luke was so done with football, he didn't even wait until after the Super Bowl. He didn't even wait until after the conference championship games. He said, look, I'm out. I cannot play anymore. Luke's gone. The defense has holes everywhere. There's holes in the D-line, in the interior. Mario Addison's contract is up. Are we going to sign Mario Addison? And if we do extend Mario Addison, that means we cannot also extend James Bradberry. So look, either the edge and the interior of the D-line needs help, or it's going to be the cornerback position, unless Panthers fans, some don't like James Bradberry. I've heard people say that James Bradberry is trash, he's garbage, and the team will be just fine this upcoming year with either a rookie as a number 1 cornerback or Dante Jackson, who basically got benched at the end of the year as our number 1 cornerback. So basically all 3 levels of our defense is looking pretty bad. And as for safeties, we have Eric Reed locked down for the next couple of years. He can tackle. Sometimes he misses tackles, but he cannot cover. Eric Reed just cannot cover. And we've been hearing reports about Trey Boston looking for the bag. He's played on 1-year deals for the last 3 years, and he's played really, really good the last 3 years on 1-year, very cheap deals. If I'm Trey Boston, look, man, I want him on the team next year too, if it's cheap. But if I'm Trey Boston, there's gotta be someone looking for a safety at his caliber. He deserves money, and he deserves to be getting paid for what he's been doing over the last 3 years and what he can do in the future. He's going to be in moderately high demand. He will not be getting paid pennies for a 4th year in a row. I promise you that. So the defense is all the way scuffed. Panthers fans, do y'all know what our offensive line looks like? I'll leave it at that. If you don't know, then you won't know. The receiver core looks good. Running back position, it's been all Christian McCaffrey all year long for the past 2 years. He has so many hits on his body, and the coaching staff showed they did not care in the least bit about giving this man rest. And look, for the first part of his career, Christian McCaffrey can take it. But we know what teams be doing with running backs. If they come out of college playing really, really good, use them really hard for the first 3 years. Then you get that 4th year in, and I think Christian McCaffrey's in his 4th year coming up. Then you franchise tag, and kick him to the curb. We might see Christian McCaffrey hold out and try to get his money because he understands this team is probably not going to be winning anytime soon. Definitely not in 2020. And 2021 is looking really, really unlikely. So if we're going to keep using up Christian McCaffrey like this, and I know we changed the coaching staff, but look, if you're going to put these many hits on Christian McCaffrey, I know he at least wants to get paid for it. So let's not rule out the possibility that Christian McCaffrey looks to get paid this offseason and get more money, because he understands the first thing you need to do as a team in the NFL is protect your quarterback. If the O-line ain't good, then the quarterback cannot be as good as he needs to be. And that brings us to Cam Newton. 2 shoulder surgeries, a cleanup procedure. Then he changes his whole throwing motion. Then he gets his foot hurt. He had a Lee's Frank injury in the 3rd preseason game of the year. He stays playing on it for another month, gets to the 2nd game of the regular season, and finally realizes, hey, I can't play anymore. I shouldn't be playing on this. I should not have played on this when it first got aggravated. And now he waited till almost the end of the season to get the surgery. There ain't a soul out here hoping that Cam is not healthy this upcoming season. But the fact of the matter is, we do not know what Cam is going to look like. So even behind a good O-line, you can only hope and pray that Cam's at 100%, but we do not know that for sure. I mean, there's other quarterbacks in the league who you can say, look, they're probably going to be 100% healthy by the time the season comes around. We do not know that about Cam. So when we talk about optimism for a team, knowing there is no defense, knowing there is no O-line, and knowing that, look, we may or may not be getting a 100% healthy Cam Newton after several years in a row of multiple different surgeries and different injuries to different parts of his body, you can safely assume we ain't winning very many games this upcoming season. All right? So why, as a Panthers fan, would you want to subject Cam Newton, a person you say you're a fan of, a person you say you actually like, why would you subject him to being on this team? If you want to see Cam Newton succeed, do you believe his best chance at success is on this Carolina Panthers team that will be rolled out in 2020? Honestly, let me know that right now. Pause the video right now and comment that down below this very second. If you believe that Cam's best chance at success is on this Panthers team. And do you believe that this team has enough cap space to go out in free agency and go in the draft and pick perfectly in the draft and only get the right free agents who are all going to stay healthy and all going to fit our scheme and get us to how many wins and get us how far in the playoffs? Is that worth 1 year of Cam Newton? Because we haven't shown any sign of extending him. There's not been any reports of us saying we need to go ahead and extend this man, which leads me to my last point here. The team just has to go ahead and trade Cam Newton. It's in both parties' best interest. You trade Cam Newton, whether you think he's healthy or not, you give him the best chance to win. You give him the best chance to be in a situation where he can succeed and do better. It's the right thing to do for Cam Newton, and it's the right thing to do for the team. You get $19 million on the cap for next year. There's going to be $7.5 million from Luke Kuechly next year and $8 million the following year. You'll probably get some picks. Now, the draft picks we would get from Cam Newton now are probably going to be a little bit different than they were going to be maybe a few weeks ago, or even just 24 hours ago before Luke Kuechly retired, because teams know now this is a desperate team that ain't really going to win. We need to probably offload Cam somewhere. Some teams are going to get that call and say, 2 firsts and a second and a third? Don't you need to get rid of Cam? I think you need to get rid of him maybe a little bit more than we need to go ahead and pick him up. I mean, you can keep him if you need to. Look, if we don't agree to this, you can have him, or you can just keep him for next year on your roster. I don't know how many wins you think you're going to get, but look, it's up to you. So teams might play a little hardball with that, knowing that Luke's out, knowing that Greg is probably going to announce his retirement or that he's moving on very, very soon. Knowing what the offense looks like, knowing what the defense looks like, knowing how young we are and how new we are in the coaching staff, front office, all that kind of stuff. All that stuff plays a role. It has a factor in it. So the trade value may be a little skinnier than it was before, but it won't be so skinny that you won't get any value from him. I think he's still worth a first. It might be a first. I don't know. I wouldn't even start to even pretend to assume what it would be, what the trade value for Cam would be. It would still be enough to have a big factor for this team. Probably going to trade back in the draft now. This is a rebuilding team that it would be a disservice. It would be an insult to Cam Newton to force him to play for a team that's rebuilding that you know can't protect him. Simple as that. If you want Cam Newton on this team next year, you do not care about Cam. You only care about the idea of having Cam as a Panther. Simple as that. And I will not say sorry for that. That's how I feel about it. What are your thoughts? Let me know all your thoughts in the comments below. And you already know to do with that like button.
Cheers to you, appreciate the chance. Been told y'all I been the man. Been told y'all I had the gift. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Real ones gonna recommend. Count this as another win.